What is the worst thing that has happened at a high school reunion party that you attended? Watch until the end for the best story. My sister, my now husband, and I were all in the same graduating class. Plus, my husband's best friend. Best friend's name is something like John Smith. Very common. He was very popular in HS. Super nice guy. Stood out in a crowd. If you didn't know him, you certainly knew of him. Even in a massive school. So anyway, the 20 years reunion rolls around. My sister is the only one who wanted to go. She called right after, very upset. Apparently there was a huge memorial wall for John Smith, who had just died. None of us knew. Awful. My husband was like, huh? But we just saw him? Called him up, and was like, hey dude, are you dead? No, not dead. Surprised, but not dead. Anyway, it turned out the much less popular other John Smith was the one who died. They made a lovely memorial for the wrong guy, who was forgotten totally. We still run into people to this day who see him, and are like, hey, aren't you supposed to be dead? This is actually horribly sad for the guy that actually died. Still fucking hysterical though. I know, right? I didn't remember him at all, and obviously nobody else did either. He died whitewater rafting, so I hope he was living his best post-HS life. Oh damn, that's so sad to hear. But yeah, at least it sounds like he was having fun and doing what he wanted. Some girl confessed to cheating on her high school sweetheart, thinking enough time had passed it wouldn't bother him. She thought wrong. Edit, I just realized I spelled school. Edit 2, since this was so well received, I'll add some details here, so that they're all in one place. The reunion was 10 years later. The two of them hadn't seen each other in years. As far as I know, they broke up shortly after high school ended. After she broke the news, somewhat nonchalantly as well, the guy flipped out and slapped her, then started screaming at her. She ran away, at which point he broke down and said something about wasting his high school years and left. We still managed to have a good time even after all that though, which was nice. And all you comedians misspelling school and saying Bob isn't cool, insert appropriately severe threat here. Wait, is she still together with her high school sweetheart? Or she saw an old fling at the reunion and casually admitted to cheating on him? The second. They hadn't seen each other in years as far as I know. Had the same thing, since reunion. Happened to me over the phone almost a week ago. I was catching up with her and wanted to remain friends. She just up and said sorry about the things she did. I said you didn't do much to hurt me, it was mostly my fault we didn't work out, and she dropped her oh I'm glad you aren't upset about me sleeping with XXXan. I just hung up. Whoever thinks that that would have ended well, or to think that someone you cheated on would ever be okay with it. Someone I knew from school tried to arrange an unofficial reunion as the school weren't going to do one. He was socially inept, so would say, and do odd things which people picked up on a lot. But his heart was always in the right place. He went to a lot of effort, but very few people responded at all. Those that did mostly made snide comments about the event behind their back, like dissing the location etc. Some made fun of him personally too, as he was doing some admittedly odd organizing. Then close to the event he cancels and blows up, sending everyone a justified message about how they can all go suck eggs, and he was just trying to do something nice and wanted to catch up with people. That was received with more snide remarks too. He died unexpectedly just a few months later. Edit, this exploded, so I'll try to read all replies and answer. He died from a heart attack. He was a very large person, which seems to have contributed. I'm not sure if many people from the reunion know or not. I found out on FB as he was a friend on there. This was a 15-year reunion, so 30 over 31-year-olds, UK. I'm from the UK, so maybe our reunions here are different to US. Most of the people who didn't reply seem to be the more decent people, and coincidentally the ones who have moved away or just moved on in their lives. Those who did were mostly the ones who still spent every week at the same bars with their same school friends. When it cancelled, they all actually went out the same night for drinks, but didn't invite the organizer. A not example of organizing was explaining the color theme of the space to everyone so they could make sure they color coordinated their outfits. That's really sad. People can be pieces of shit sometimes. One guy had made not one, but 2 fortunes and had a net worth of well over $100 million by our 20th reunion. High-speed modem patents in the late 1980s, early investor in broadband, right place at the right time. He'd already retired. On our classmate update bulletin he listed his occupation as unemployed and unemployable as a bit of a gag. Some of the well-meaning but clueless types sought him out to offer encouragement and tips on how to find work. I've met 2 billionaires through work. One does work, and the other happily, oh so happily, lives the life most of us only dream of. He's a super nice guy, and mentioned he might go back to work after his kids are grown. He says he's lucky enough to be home with them. My 10-year reunion killed itself before it happened. Turns out our class president, traditionally in charge of organizing, took a hard turn into a footless after high school. Edit. Originally said she took a hard turn for the evangelical. Several commenters objected to me lumping this brand of crazy into evangelism, for which I apologize. Highlights of her event planning include no alcohol allowed, not even biob. A few classmates in a reasonably successful band offered to play for free. She was adamant there would be no music or dancing. +1s were to be spouses only. 2 guys happily told her they'd bring their husbands, and she kicked them both from the Facebook page. The venue was a high school soccer field in Iowa. In August, we were welcome to bring our own chairs. A few people offered to bring beanbags and box and similar games. She said no, because it would make the reunion too much like tailgating. Suggested entertainment was a guided tour of the school, which had undergone zero change since we graduated. Catering was from Hy-Vee, which is a grocery store. Their food is actually okay, but tickets were $60. It was ultimately cancelled because out of our class of 300, less than 10 people bought tickets. Edit. Wow, that's a lot of comments. Okay, fact. This was Eastern Iowa, Cedar Rapids / Iowa City region, which makes the sudden footless morals all the weirder. It's a pretty liberal area. I cast no judgment on Hy-Vee catering. Put down the pitchforks. Their food is good. Just not $60 worth of good. I sadly couldn't come up with the name of the band, short of messaging dudes I haven't talked to in 20 years. Looks like they haven't been active in quite a while. A bunch of people who stayed local did indeed pick a bar and a Saturday night to meet up, and had much amoral debauchery. Rumor has it there was even karaoke. It makes a good story, but I'm ultimately sad for our event planner. I got the impression that she really needed everyone to see that she was the most good person who was doing everything right, and that she hadn't been in control of something in a long time. I hope she's doing better now. Didn't happen to me, but I had this friend who got someone pregnant back in the day, and she kept the kid. They've both been great about it. He helps financially, but that was the extent of his contribution. She married soon out of high school, and met a great guy who has been the de facto dad. Either way, it's a day bring your kids, if you have them event and someone let slip that my friend is that kid's real dad. And the kid heard it, and it was a fucking shit show. Everyone was trying to figure out who said that, and how could someone spill that secret, etc. In the end my friend pretended he was shocked, and laughed it off as a joke, which honestly I front of the kid was probably a good move. At first, I just thought geez, what a dick about the person who told. But then I realized that I could totally see myself absent-mindedly saying something about it to someone else. If the kid heard it by accident, the person who told must have felt terrible, lol. The absent-minded thing is how my great-aunts found out their stepmom wasn't their actually mom. My great-grandmother died in childbirth with the twins and my great-grandfather remarried quickly cause that's what you did. At their first communion, someone said to someone else, their mother would be so proud to see what beautiful girls they are, or something to that effect. Turned into a very interesting communion. Thanks for watching. If you hit the like button and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you will get good luck and won't catch the coronavirus. Make sure to check out my other videos. I have 2 playlists for you to check out. Funny and scary. Watch them now. Goodbye.